Hi, thanks for coming on. Andy with you here on Thursday, November the 4th. Looking ahead to games this weekend in Scotland, and I've got a bit of a statement to read out from somebody that I spoke to in the betting industry um, this week regarding what happened on the Ebbsfleet Bath game. And we'll come to that first. It's something which, this has come from somebody that works for, shall I say, I'm not going to give any names, but one of the glitzy bookmakers that you see advertised on television all the time. They sponsor sporting events, always got offers on, etc., etc. But I I do know quite a few people in the industry, but this gentleman who I've known quite a while was willing to give me a statement. I'm not going to mention his name, um, but it is as follows. I won't read the whole statement, but we saw small money for Ebbsfleet Thursday evening and cut the price accordingly. So Thursday evening was when it started. By Friday afternoon, a substantial gamble was underway, and we had fairly big liabilities. Again, we cut the price in line, and we, we reacted. And on Saturday, when news filtered through of a postponement, it was very handy. Won't read any more. That's the sort of the brief bit. But as I say, that's somebody that works for a major bookmaker regarding liabilities, etc. So Thursday evening, gamble was started, which they only saw small bits, and but they did cut the price. And by Friday afternoon, he's saying a substantial gamble was underway, which I got to know sort of around about midday, I think, or something on the Friday. And they had big liabilities. Now, big liabilities would sort of indicate to me sort of upwards of sort of 50,000. Huge would tell me it's sort of 250 plus. So I'm guessing the figure that I put on it last weekend, around about being 100k, I don't think is too wide of the mark. Now, twice in the statement, or not a statement, I'm not going to, but twice he's mentioned there that they cut the price. And like you said, they were very relieved on Saturday when news filtered through of a postponement. It was a very handy thing to happen. So make of it what you will. I've tried to dig around as much as I could. Interestingly, that Bath's game is allegedly on this weekend. When I thought 10-day isolation period was standard, I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. Interesting though, isn't it? Whichever way you look at it, but it's one of those things, and that game will be played now. I don't know, probably on a Wednesday night when there's huge Champion League action. It doesn't matter when it's played because whatever was going to be, but it's by the by. But I just wanted to let you know, and that the fact that one of the key things there is Odds Checker put Ebbsfleet out as on the drift and Bath shortening. Yeah, I've had it confirmed from a major bookmaker, a trader there, saying to me that they had to cut the price, and they kept cutting the price. So it just sort of substantiates what I tell you about Odds Checker being, well, bent. Let's get on then anyway with this weekend's action. Enough about that. But I mean, if anybody does hear anything, I'd be delighted to know. As I say, I've done as much digging as I can. But let's get on. There's some value about this weekend. Aberdeen 45, 23, 32 Motherwell. I don't think Aberdeen should warrant being odds on. Not at all. They're putting it 4-5. Motherwell, I've got Motherwell in at 21-10. So 4-1, there's 1.9 at 32%. It's good value. And the rating is good enough to warrant involvement. I'm obviously not saying Motherwell are going to win because, 68% of the time bets like this will lose. But, 32% at 4-1, you're going to win in the long run. Hearts Dundee United 50, 23, 27. Again, another team that's putting odds on. I don't think warrant being that is Hearts. I think even money is fair. But Dundee United, 27%, again, 4-1. I've got them in at 11-4. There's 1.25 points in it. And you know my saying about teams sort of in the 20s, if you can get over a point, it certainly warrants involvement, and this game certainly does. So Johnston St Mirren, 44, 25, 31. There's nothing really, I don't think, to warrant involvement, but I just found it interesting that, you know, 13-10 St Johnstone, there's 0.05 and the 31% there's 0.3 in St Mirren. I don't think it's anything that is worthy of interest. Bookmakers very short on the draw, or short enough, but Livingston Hibs 40, 22, 38, 0.12 in Livingston, 0.08 in Hibernian. None of it interests me. I don't think it's a game to get involved with at all. Dundee Celtic 19, 24, 57. I mean, look, there's 4.5 points in Dundee. At 19%, it is probably worth it. But again, as I always say, 81% of the time, these bets are going to lose, but you're being paid double the price that you should be. So you do have to factor that in. Would I advise it to members? Probably not. Celtic shouldn't be 4-11. Rangers 75, 20 draw, 5% Ross. Sevens on is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm sorry, but this is why I've got no interest in most of the time in the Premier League in England, because it's the sort of price you find City at all the time, and Liverpool and teams like that. And there's no point in betting against them really. But I mean, last week Crystal Palace beat Manchester City, but I'm just saying that you go so long without a winner, it just really isn't worth it. Ross, 5%, 9 points in Ross. 95% of the time you're going to be on the loser. Best bet there for me, I think Motherwell. I think it's a decent enough rating at 32, 4-1, 1.9 in it. I think that's certainly worthy of interest. Onto the Championship. Again, I felt it was another real tough week in the Championship, and I found the Championship this season, there really isn't a lot in it. I think bookmakers, I don't know, I'm not going to say they're on it, but there doesn't seem to ever be a lot in any of these games. I mean, just 32, 24, 44 Air Inverness, 0.3 in Air at 32% and 0.05 in Inverness at 44. It's not the sort of things that would have me rushing to get involved. Dunfermline Morton 48, 23, 29. There's 0.1 in Morton, but Dunfermline, they have to start winning soon. It's not for me. Hamilton Arbroath 32, 25, 43. Again, there's 0.1 in Arbroath. It's not for me. Obviously Hamilton, I hope Hamilton win because for outright purposes, but I think that ship's sailed. Kilmarnock Partick 50, 24, 26. So there was a bit in Kilmarnock. I think 0.15 was fair enough. At 50%, it's something which, I wouldn't want to say to you, oh, it's a bank job or anything like that. But any time you're sort of getting paid better than evens, and for a 50% bet, you're going to win in the long term. So, if you wanted to get involved in Kilmarnock, it's something I wouldn't put you off. It's certainly a bet I can warrant having myself and giving to members. Queen of the South Wraith 32, 22, 45. There's half a point in Queen of the South, 0.5, and there's 0.1 in Wraith, and bookmakers point shorter than me on the draw. I just don't trust Queen of the South, and I think when you look at, there's 0.3 in Air at 32 and there's 0.5 in Queen of the South at 33. You'd have to side with this one out the two, but Queen of the South. The only thing I'll say is I think they've lost their last two when I was doing my figures this week, and they don't tend to lose sort of more than a couple, Queen of the South. So I don't know. Maybe it's a game you might want to look at, Queen of the South, double chance, possibly. Let's go on to League One. again, League One, I didn't think there was anything outstanding. Airdrie 56, 23, 21 Petehead, 0.3. I think Airdrie should be odds on. They're 11 to 10, so obviously that's decent enough. It's just a question of whether you want to get involved. This is sort of, again, like similar to the Kilmarnock bet. I think that anything over 50% you're getting odds against, you automatically chalk it down and have it as a bet. Dumbarton Clyde 40, 24, 36. Tough game to call. No angle in here whatsoever. I think bookmakers have got this pretty spot on. Any results possible, and it's just not a game to get involved with. Falkirk Hanover 46, 23, 31. Now, I think Hanover are only 4 points or something off top now. Maybe more. I can't remember because I haven't got all my work in front of me. But I think I'm not saying that we're going to land the bet or anything like that, but they are starting to show something, and it's still early days. We're only just in November, and there's 0.4 in them. Excuse me, this weekend. You get 13 to 5, about 11 to 5. There's 31%. I think it is value. It is value, and it's it's a question of whether how you see it. But for me, it's certainly up there in terms of potential bets this weekend. Montrose Cove looks a tough one, doesn't it? 39, 24, 37. There's 0.3 in Cove. I thought they were 2 to 1 was far too big. I priced this game up, and I thought they'd be favourites for this, even though I've got Montrose at 39 and Cove at 37. There's always a bit of a sort of overreaction to Cove, and I thought they would be going off favourites for this. They're not. So I think 2 to 1's pretty fair for 37%. And like here, you're getting 0.4 extra at 31. Here, you're getting 0.3 at 37. So you're getting a tenth of a point less, but you are getting 6% chance more likely that your bet's going to win. But I thought Cove had a decent chance at the prices. Queen's Park East 5, 64, 22, 14. I think that looks like a banker home win, doesn't it, on the figures? There's nothing in the prices. 4 points in East 5, but at 14%. East 5 for me on a team on the road that interests me one iota. We know about East 5. It's what they do at Bayview that counts, and I can't see anything other here than a routine win for Queen's Park. I'm not saying that it's an all-in bank job, but when you look at Rangers at 1 to 7 and 75%, these are 2 to 5 at 64. So when you sort of compare it with that, it's a much better all-round bet than the Rangers bet, but I would expect Queen's Park to win. Let's go on to League Two. I like the look of the top game, I have to say, this game tomorrow night. This is definitely a members bet. Edinburgh to beat Albion, 59%. 7 to 10 is my price. They're available at even money. Now, I think that's an absolute standout. I'm not going to say it's a bank job or anything like that, but I think when you've got a team bordering 60% on figures and you're getting odds against, I think that you have to take it. And I've pitched Albion in at 9 to 2, but bookmakers 9 to 4. I don't really understand that. I think I can only see one result here, and that's an Edinburgh home win, and you're being well paid. Annan 40, 22, 38 Stranraer, 0.25 in Stranraer. I think, is it enough at 38%? That's what you've got to weigh up. I think it's a tough game to call. I mean, you've got Annan at 40 and Stranraer at 38. I don't think there's anything in it. If it was a gun to the head job, you'd side with Stranraer, wouldn't you? Just purely on prices, because there's a bit of value in there. But it's not something which I would be rushing to back, put it that way. But team news filters through. It could be a members bet. I don't know. Cowdenbeath Kelty 18, 24, 58. There's a point in Cowdenbeath, but at 18%, it really isn't worth it. Kelty too short as ever. I think 8 to 11. I knew when I priced it up, I was highly unlikely we were ever going to get 8 to 11 and 8 to 15. I thought they'd probably be shorter, to be honest. I thought bookmakers would have them in at twos on minimum, but they probably will be that come game time. And before we come to the final two bets, after we've done these final two bets, there's just one team I want to quickly talk about just for 30 seconds. It's a value bet, and Forfar Elgin 55, 24, 21. I think Forfar should win this game. 8 to 11 doesn't interest me at all. Elgin 21%. There's nothing in it. I think bookmakers are pretty right on it. Sterling 48, 23, 29. Stenhousemuir. I haven't got Sterling as high, on my overall rating as how they're performing. There's something about them that, to me, it's, how can I put it? It's not this well-oiled machine. That's, I still think they're prone to mishaps. I couldn't imagine backing these at 8 to 13 with anyone else's money. 0.8 on Stenhousemuir at 29%. It's almost worth any involvement, isn't it? It's how you see it, really. But I don't think Sterling should be any way odds on. I think I've got them at 11 to 10. I think bookmakers are ridiculous at 8 to 13. And as I say, there's 0.8 in Stenny. Now, there's a team I just want to quickly touch on, Tottenham Hotspur. I was quite positive about them at the start of the season. They did start extremely well, and then the wheels come off. Nuno's been sacked. Now, for me, they've gone and got themselves a guy in Antonio Conte, who, on my figures, I think I've got him in at number 3 in world football on my ratings. Now, Tottenham were 9 to 1 to finish in the top 4, and I thought that was extreme value. I'm not saying they're going to finish in the top 4 or anything like that, but 5 points off 4th, Tottenham, 9 to 1. And let's be realistic. Who is going to challenge that 4th spot? Obviously, I think Manchester United. And even if you say Arsenal and West Ham and Tottenham, that's 4 teams. So if we're saying it's a 4-horse race for that 4th position in the Premiership, and we're getting 9 to 1 about Tottenham, and they've just appointed, on my figures, the 3rd best manager in world football, that's value. I think 5, 6 to 1 should be their price, and then 9 to 1 to finish in the top 4. I think the top 3 are away and gone. I put Chelsea up at the start of the season. I still think Chelsea will win the league, and I think they'll be followed home by Liverpool and City. And I think the teams around them for that 4th position, I think Manchester United, I think he only ever seems to be 1 game away from the sack, doesn't he? Solskjaer, I think they've got world-class players, but there's too many lazy players there. West Ham, I think, are a good, solid side. Do I see them top 4? No. Arsenal have been much improved this season, and I did say at the start of the season I said before the start of the season, when we were talking about England, how good Ben White is, and I think he's made a huge difference to Arsenal. He really is out the top drawer, Ben White. And in Tottenham, I think if you look at the nucleus of that Tottenham squad, and now Conte's in charge, I think there is every chance they can finish top 4. Now, it's just a question. I'm not saying to bet it. I'm not putting it on the account or anything. But for me, when he was appointed, the first thing I did was look at the prices, and to find 9 to 1, I thought was outstanding with only 5 points. And because Conte, Tottenham will be capable of going away and winning anywhere. Make no doubt about that. This guy will have a huge influence at Spurs. And as I said, I was positive about Tottenham at the start of the season because of the squad and everything else. And I did like Nuno, but somebody told me last week his team talks were 3 hours long and he basically sent them to sleep. So if it's up to you, I'm just saying, I think in a 4-runner race at 9-1, I think there is some really, really good value in Tottenham to finish in the top 4. But that's it, guys. Best bet of the weekend. I like Motherwell 1.9 at 32%. I think that's very, very good value indeed. Nothing really in the Championship. League One, I thought there was enough in Alloa. And League Two, obviously, I thought Edinburgh. Edinburgh was a really good bet. I like that. I think, as I say, I think Edinburgh's a good bet to beat Albion. And don't forget, that's tomorrow night, guys. That's not Saturday, that's Friday. So Edinburgh's definitely a members bet. The rest of those bets will be out tomorrow. And fingers crossed we're lucky. We'll review it all Sunday. Good luck, whatever you're doing. And I'll speak to you then.